Hey guys, welcome to a With Friends episode of Unjuggle the Struggle. Today's guest is someone who I could talk to forever, for days on end. I'm so looking forward to where the conversation takes us today. We are talking to one of my best friends, one of my mentors, someone who has hands down transformed and changed my life from all those years ago when we were actually starting up a office together in Houston, Texas. And then you sprinkle some midnight Buc-ee's road trips in there. And then you sprinkle in some, oh my goodness, we ran teams together that broke records in corporate. I mean, the things that we've done. And then to fast forward to be here and to have you on the podcast today. So today, guys, we're talking to Ann Gray. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. You got a tear in my eye there.
So Ann, okay, we have made a promise to each other that we're going to keep this together, guys. Okay, because when Ann and I get together, it's this like bomb of energy, of sparkles, of oh crap, like real life. I mean, there's things that happen. So Ann and I are going to do our best to keep focus, and then if we need to bring Ann back, we will just do that. But today, Ann, who are we talking to? Like, how do you want to introduce yourself today?
Yes. So that is a big question. I would say, first and foremost, I am a mom and a wife. And I am also a career-minded person. I've been in the people world. I am currently now director of people, which I think is hysterical. But also because those who know me know that HR has never been in my vocabulary. But what I love about it is I'm able to pull in all the things I love about people and helping people in their careers, helping them just navigate what life throws at them.
Yeah. I remember when transitions had happened and they threw me into operations. And I felt the very same way. I was like, no, I'm like sales at heart. I'm recruiting at heart. I don't do this whole operations thing. And then it ended up being one of the most beautiful combinations because I think similar to you, we get to take our like in the dirt, hands-on people skills, hands-on skills, and then we get to apply them to the back end business systems that desperately need that kind of point of view. So, I mean, as always, I'm sure you're right where you need to be.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. What, I know there's a passion on your heart and it's always been this. It's when I met you, this was the season that you were going in. And so today we really wanted to talk about single moms and how they really can thrive in work and in personal lives. And where do we even start with this? Can you maybe tell, like a little bit about your story, how you kind of found yourself in this situation, and then what did it look like to try and navigate and almost, would you say rebuild? Is that the right word?
Yes. I would say rebuild, and maybe not even rebuild, but to where you start. Like, how do you even begin building? Because when you go through a divorce, and especially when you have children, there's this idea that, wow, this is absolutely the worst thing ever. How am I going to survive? How are my kids going to survive? And there's a lot of fear there where I know I wanted to just stop in that fear and just hunker down in the bed and not get out of the bed and stay there. But fortunately, I had great support from my family and my mom, who's like, you can't stay in the bed. You got to get out of that bed. you got to start moving. And that was really the first step, is that, okay, life is going to continue and I am going to be able to make it. And in trying to make it, the very first, I had to go back to work. I had not been working. So 3 years out of the workforce, had to go back to work, and was working in a hospital as an office administrator, literally making $12 an hour. going, there's no way I'm going to be able to survive. And that actually put a fire in me to go, okay, I don't want to just survive. I want to be able to thrive and have all the things for my kids and myself. So I went to my recruiter at the time and tried to get back into IT. And the recruiter said, well, your skills are old and rusty, but have you ever thought about recruiting? I'm like, oh no, I'm not a people person. I can't out. I kind of am a people person.
Who would have thought?
And the whole motivation for getting in recruiting was just money, because I needed to make more money in order to provide for my family. And I was very much of that mindset that I can do this. I can provide for myself and for my kids. And so I went into recruiting, and it was the best decision ever. And because of moving into recruiting, I was very quickly, after being in that recruiting career, I was presented with the opportunity to move from Arizona to Houston and start and be part of a small boutique firm that wanted me to head up their recruiting team. And I remember sitting there having this internal battle going, well, in Arizona, I literally lived across the street from my parents. And my mom was very involved in watching my boys, who at the time were very young. They were 4 and 6. And there was definitely this fear of, you can't do this. Like, are you crazy? What do you really think you're going to pack up yourself, these little kids, a dog, 2 hamsters, and you're going to fly from Arizona to Houston? And I have a very strong faith. I leaned into that faith. And I was more of the mind of, the heck, I can't do it. Why not? What's the worst that happens is I get there, I have to call mom and dad and they come and get us. That's the worst that could happen. And as it turned out, I could do it. I could do it very well. It was definitely hard, very, very busy time of my life for sure. But I watched the boys, and I watched myself and what we were doing. And we were happy. We were enjoying all of the moments. We were very, very busy, but I took a lot of pride in that my boys were watching their mom growing her career as they're growing. And I don't feel that I had to sacrifice their childhood. And now that they're adult men and talking to them, they definitely don't feel like there was any sacrifice, or mom was never at home, but it took a lot of balancing, definitely.
So let's get into like the nitty-gritty of how and what that actually looks like, because I think that first off, to grab the perception of, hey, not only I'm going to do this for my kids, like I'm going to do this for my kids, I'm going to do this for myself. But to grab the perception of, the best thing that I can do is grow my career and be the example of what thriving looks like, because by being the example, that in itself is healthy for my family. That in itself shows them what's possible. So even to get to that point, to pick up that perspective is huge. But then what does that actually look like in the nitty gritty of, okay, so I'm going to work at this time. The boys are coming with me to this appointment, but they're not going to like how? I just think of any single moms who are listening and they're like, okay, that's so great that you could pick up that perception, but
how?
How?
Yes, absolutely. And I wish I would have had that book or the how when I was doing it. But for me, the how was making a choice. And the choice was not looking at where we're at right now, because that was terrifying. But looking at, okay, I know where I want to be and how do I get there? And so I would say the how would be, one, not leaning into the fear, going, okay, I can physically do this, and taking each day as it comes. For me, the how was looking at my paycheck and going, all right, it makes sense for me to have literally half of my paycheck went to my nanny, who is one of my best friends. But at the time, she wasn't a single mom, but she wasn't married yet. And she had her own little child, her little son, who was 6 months old. My daughter was 6 months old, and they are crawling together as they literally grew up together. And I remember that my paycheck that I would get, half of it would go to her and half of it would go to me and my little small family. But it meant a lot to me that my kids were not in daycare. And that was a big thing, because when the boys had been younger, they were with my mom, and we tried daycare like for a hot minute, and that just did not work for me. And that's one of those things, like how can you have a career and not have your kids in daycare? Well, my answer was to find a fabulous nanny who did not cost a ton of money and had very similar goals in life to what I did. And so that was part of the how. The other part of the how, I would say, was boundaries. Like I had to set some major boundaries on my work-life balance, on not sacrificing time with the kids because I had to go and do X, Y, and Z. I really worked very, very hard in the amount of hours that I had. And that I never felt like that kept me from moving forward. In fact, I think it helped me so much in my life as far as sticking to those boundaries.
Yeah, and being present. I remember you were one of the first people who told me. So I was going through a hard time, and it was just like, and I like I don't even know what to do here. How do I manage all of this? Like work is asking for this, and yet I'm clearly going through a life thing too. What do I do? And the advice that you gave me at the time, you're like, Britt, seriously, what you can accomplish in an hour normally takes everybody else about 12 hours. So why don't you just in this season of life where your attention is clearly being pulled in other places, why don't you just let that hour of work and all the things that you're already going to do, why don't you just let that be enough?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it was, and I think that especially, right? I mean, we get in these any high achiever. I think that single mamas are definitely high achievers just by nature. Like you don't have a choice, right? Where we get into these things where it's like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And you're like, whoa, I'm not saying that, for instance, I'm not saying that I want other people's standards to be my own. And hey, just because it takes somebody else 12 hours to do the same thing I can do in 1 hour, that should be my standard. But being like having that grace for ourselves to let it fluctuate in seasons and just to really see like what I do. I think it also helped me create better boundaries because I accepted that what I was doing while I was at work was so good.
Yes.
And it was way more than enough so
Yes.
that when I got home to my family, I could just be okay with being present. I wasn't missing out on anything. I wasn't not doing anything. There wasn't lack. And I think that boundary and just that recognition helped me a lot.
Yes. And you're so right. And I'm really glad I told you that.
You're so smart. You're so smart.
Wow. Because there is this fear as a single mom that you're not enough. You're not enough as a mom. You're not enough as the career woman. You're not enough when it comes to bringing in the money. Just so many of these fears of not being enough. And that is, you absolutely nailed it, is giving yourself that grace that not only am I enough, but I am way more than I could ever imagine. And that season of life helps you to see that, to go, wow, I did that. And I did that when I did not have the support of a normal, not normal, but I didn't have the support of a partner. This was just on me, and telling myself that I'm going to work smarter, not harder. Found a lot of ways to not shortcuts. I would not ever say that they were shortcuts. It was just, okay, for me, it didn't make sense to, because at the time I was in recruiting and sales and you have to make hundreds and hundreds of calls. And it's like, well, that doesn't really work well for me. But I find if I really look at what the end goal is and do research and be more targeted and more of that sniper instead of the, hopefully this is a good analogy, and but more of it targeted instead of just spraying and
throwing the spaghetti at the wall.
Spaghetti at the wall. Exactly. Worked really well. And I found that by doing that, I wasn't working extra hours into the night. It wasn't where I put the kids to bed and then I was spending hours on the laptop. I wasn't that type of a person, because I know myself, I needed to rejuvenate. I needed to have downtime. And the only time I could find any downtime is after the kids went to sleep. So the last thing I want to do was to pull out the laptop and keep working.
Oh, but that's such a good point, because, and it's single, married, all the things, like whatever, either way, how often it's like, okay, we'll put the kids to bed and then I'll get back into work. And then how work becomes the like safe place. Like work becomes the thing that we get so attached to. And I think it starts with the right intention. You're like, hey, I want people to depend on me. I want to get the project done. I have the capability. I have the endurance, the strength. I can do this. And then all of a sudden, when we start like not protecting that, hey, this is a no work zone. We start liking the way that work makes us feel just a little bit too much, and we start finding our value in work. So to hear you say that, like, hey, even after the kids went down, I wasn't getting on the laptop, that you were still protecting like that how Trent Shelton says, protect your peace. You're still protecting your peace.
Yes, exactly. And I see single moms right now that they are just workaholics. And I would say that you and I are workaholics. We just,
I love work. I
absolutely love it. Exactly. But I recognize that you have to be able to turn that off. And that was very important for me, because I know the times that I didn't turn it off is when I swear my brain would short circuit, and I was no good to anybody at that point. And you can't run at that speed for a long period of time. Like you have to be able to shut that off. But there is that, going back to that fear, is I had to make a conscious choice of, no, I'm not going to log back in. I'm not going to work, because there was this fear that if people knew I was a single mom, they would already be assuming I'm not going to be working at full capacity. So I felt like, okay, I have to work to overcompensate. And that's not a true, or should not be a reality. And if you're a single mom and you find that is the reality, you need to find a new place to work, because that shouldn't be the reality. I remember early on when you and I were first became friends, that nobody knew I had kids. Nobody knew. This place, this is a true story. This was before you and I met, right before we met. I worked at this place for 2 years, and I had, in that second year, somebody go, "You have kids?" I'm like, "Yes, I have kids." That was a way wrong way to have. That was when I didn't learn about boundaries. You shouldn't have to hide your kids. You shouldn't have to hide the fact that you're a single mom in order to feel like you can be successful. And so that was hugely eye-opening. Like, okay, I don't need to be I don't need to hide this. Exactly.
Yes.
Quite the opposite, but I do see it. It was something that I love my dad, and my dad's always had great advice. But one of the things that he said that really stuck with me, in his own world, his own business, he had a single mom interview with him, and he's like, "I can't hire her. She's not going to be dependable if her kids are sick." Like, he literally said this to me as I was a single mom, and I had to stop him. I'm like, Dad, you need to hire that single mom. There's nobody who needs that job more and is going to be more dedicated. And it totally switched how he was thinking. And he did hire her. She became one of his best employees ever.
Of course.
It is that, but there's that misconception
Yep.
that, oh, a single parent, they're not going to be able to get it done. And it's quite the opposite. They
Yeah.
have to get it done. They don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. Yes, but you're right. That's not and this is what I love about this is what I love about us. This is also what I love about this podcast is like the not afraid to say the stuff it's true. It's so true. It's so true that people go, oh, she's a single mom, that they absolutely do have that perspective that your dad just happened to say out loud. And also, too, it was really interesting. I've never heard the opposite side of it from the single mom's point of view, where she's like, yeah, no, I didn't want people to know I was a single mom so that I didn't also have that stigmatism against me.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So that's and then for you to have that full circle moment of like, I do have kids and they're actually, kind of important to me. So you should probably know that they exist.
They exist. Exactly. I mean, talk about really hitting you in the face. Okay. That's not healthy. That's not a good idea.
Wild, because you kept them so separate for so long.
Yes. And that is not using good boundaries at all. I had to learn. And so much of the learning, it was trial and error to kind of throw that out there. And again, I'm saying this a lot, lean into the fear. And when I say lean into the fear, I really mean lean into God and that you're going to be okay. And I remember having conversations with I'm going to share this because it's so cute. My kids at the time called my boss Mr. McGregor. They thought that was his name. And they were referring to Mr. McGregor of Peter Rabbit. And Peter Rabbit and his family, if you went into Mr. McGregor's garden, you were done. Well, that's how they viewed my boss. Like Mr. McGregor was like, they would hear him like yelling. This was way back in the day. Hear him yelling at me on the phone. And they would also hear me going, no, you may not talk to me that way. Just like I would talk to them, I would say that to him. And so they saw, okay, mom definitely is like setting up these boundaries. It was terrifying to say that to Mr. McGregor, that you may not talk to me that way. That's not constructive. Crazy scary. But it was two things. One, I was testing those putting out those boundaries and going, okay, is he going to really fire me for telling him he can't talk to me that way? There was that fear. Absolutely. He did not, and he stopped talking to me that way. So I was like, oh, I got empowered to find that balance. But it was also really a lesson for my kids. Like, no, you don't let people talk to you that way. And you don't come back at them with anger and being, mean and you're using bad language. You're just like, no, you may not.
No. No, you don't get to do that. Yeah.
You get to do that.
And then that just goes, that comes full circle too, for instance, like what you were actually modeling for your children. And how important, how that became the driver.
Yes, it really did. And so much of my career choices and life choices were based on how will my kids see me and how do I want them to see me and what kind of role model do I want to be for them? And I didn't want them to see this harried, crazy, doesn't have her stuff together mom. I wanted them to see, okay, no matter what life throws at you, you'll be okay. And you can do this and you can be better than okay.
Yeah. When do you it's interesting to hear you say, like, you wanted them to kind of see this like polished version of you.
Yes.
And why I say it's interesting is because it's like, I know nothing except like the full A to Z Anne.
Yes.
And in fact, those pieces of both of us that maybe we're not the most proud of, those you were such a light for me inside some of my own dark shadows like that. And so I know you, I know that you have shown your shadows to your kids
Oh,
now.
yes.
Like, where do you think that like, at what point in time, or what shifted to where you went from my kids, I want to set and be this polished example, to going, oh, wait a second, they also need to see that I carry some crap with me too.
Yes. So very honestly, transparently, that was the biggest hurdle, I would say. And
Mm.
it's something that I think I'm just now starting to really recognize because I was
Interesting.
I didn't let my kids see me cry. Like you, I was teasing, like, well, I wasn't teasing, like you brought a tear to my eye. That was not a vulnerability I would have been able to show 10 years ago.
Mm.
And
Mm.
that is something I would say to single moms, do better than I did, because I didn't show them when things were really hard because I was so afraid that they would think, oh no, like what's, mom's not keeping it together and mom's scared or fearful. Oh no, like I did not want that for their world. But
Yeah.
I did them a disservice in not showing them that, hey, things are not always great. You don't always have your act together. And that is, yeah, something I would say it's okay for them to
Mm.
see that you're sad or you're anxious, and let them work through it with you. It's
Yeah.
still something that, yeah, it's, I don't think I have advice on that. I don't know how to do that well. That's what I would say. Yes.
So crazy. So crazy to hear you say that. It's the things that, especially that I was navigating, like right alongside. I mean, right alongside you. They were some really dark times, and some really just like, oh my gosh, I myself don't have my crap together.
Yes.
And I didn't have other resources. I really didn't know where to go. And
Mm.
you were this incredible, just like I said, light for me. And I was able to go, hey, well, what about and I don't even think I had to ask, Anne. I think that at that point you were just like, I really struggle with this. And it was like, that's awful. And me too. Tell me
Yes.
more. Tell
Yes.
me more. Help me help myself. And so, yeah, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's, ooh, I love it. I love it. Okay. So, that kind of some of the stuff, like you said, that you're still unjuggling
Still
how to,
unsettling. Yeah.
uh-huh, how to be a
Absolutely.
little bit more vulnerable with your
Right.
kiddos. Mhm.
Because
Well,
I
go ahead.
watch them and they're amazing. I still have fun. She's not quite an adult, but she's almost there. Amazing, amazing young lady. Just amazing to see how she's growing up and what she's doing. And then I watch my two adult sons, and again, amazing. I see them struggle though with showing emotion. And it's like, oh, I feel like I did that to them. And it's something I'm now going, it's okay. It's okay.
Dang it.
Joke about it, but I do think it's helping. Now, just at any time, I guess that's what I could say is you can unjuggle that at any time of your
At
life.
any time.
Yeah, once
Absolutely.
you recognize, oh wow, I didn't do a good job of that. You can change it. And
Oh,
we laugh about it now. It's like it's okay, it's okay. But I
you're
was
such
so
an incredible
appreciated to
mom.
see that. Oh, thanks, thanks.
Yeah.
I love being a mom, so that part was easy.
That part was easy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're unjuggling this, like, hey, showing up a little more like vulnerably
Yes.
with your kiddos, which is so I love that. I love that for you, especially as they are like they're in their young adult lives. And
Mhm.
now, right, like, it gets to be the new chapter for you guys. Like,
Right.
what does our adult relationship look like?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm sure you're going to navigate that beautifully.
Oh, thanks.
um One of the other things that we're kind of like unjuggling is you recently had an experience, something that scared the crap out of me. So do you want to
Yes.
set the scene, or you want me to set the scene, my friend?
I think I'd like you to, because your perspective of what that felt like blew my mind. Because when it's something that's happening to you, you're just thinking about you. And I was thinking about, okay, how are my kids going to feel? Is my family? And I was thinking about my friends, but not how hard it hit you. So if you don't mind sharing how you felt.
Yeah, I'll share. So here I am on my Monday morning, and I'm just putzing through over here, and I get this text from Anne, and it says that it like moved
I
me
can't
so
believe I
deeply.
texted you that.
Yeah, you jerk. Okay,
I
let's.
was like, whoa, lesson learned. Don't text.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I get this text just like, hey, basically just want you to know I had a mini stroke, no damage. Like it took me 24 hours to get my speech back in the hospital. And just like I'm okay, but that it was caused by stress and just the way that I read the text was just like this call to, hey, basically like Britt, and it was to another one of our girlfriends was on the text. It was like, hey, I'm just proud of you both for taking like your mental health and making space for peace and rest, because it's so important, and stress is no joke. And while of course I, was like, well, yay, I'm glad I'm prioritizing my peace. But what the heck have you been doing to get your
Not
butt?
prioritizing my peace.
Gosh, it was just, I had so many more questions. I was so not okay with it because I was like, what do you mean? And it did. It hit me so deeply because I also I wouldn't say that like, it wasn't like I felt like it was my fault. That's not at all what I was saying when I say this like phrase, but it just really hit me hard because of a few other series of events, right? Like that's a real thing. Everything stacks.
Right.
A few other series of events where I had given a couple keynotes on some of this information on how to basically release the hold that burnout and stress has on our lives. Yes. And I had given those keynotes and people were raving. My inbox was full of like, you don't know how much I needed to hear this. Oh my gosh, I was in the right place, right time. Thank you so much. Wow, this is like released stresses on my life that I didn't even know I was carrying. I mean, the response was just through the roof. And then I get this text from my best friend, and the way that I just was like, I have information that maybe could have helped. And because I haven't been showing up the way that I needed to in my business. And so like divinely orchestrated by God, 100,000 gazillion %. It was just one of those like stack things. And then here's, of course, Anne would be the cherry on top. Of course, with the sprinkles and the whipped cream, because that's how she does it. And so that's what happened from my perspective. But from your perspective, like you got to a point where you had piled on so much, you'd stacked so much crap on your plate.
Yes.
And body just said no, huh?
Yes. I want you to first let yourself off the hook, because I've listened to those podcasts. I've listened to I thought, this is my perspective.
Yeah.
I was invincible. Like that doesn't happen to me. That is, and so much in denial that even though I was in the hospital for 2 days, it took I spent 2 nights in the hospital, which was unheard of. I didn't even, when I have children, I wasn't in the hospital.
Yeah.
So, and I am still going, oh, they're overreacting. It was a migraine. This is so ridiculous. This is so silly. And it was the second day where they're like, okay, this wasn't a migraine. Your blood pressure is still not coming down. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I have beautiful blood pressure. Always. What are you talking about? Like way in denial until it hit me. Boom. That I'm like, oh, whoa, I'm not invincible. Like, wow. Cause I eat well. I talk about boundaries. I know how to, I know about burnout and how you have to be so careful. What I feel what happened was that I was pushing stuff down, just burying it, and it came to a full head. And what was so crazy is the immediate stress was over, completely gone, and it literally was the next day that this hit, which
Mhm.
is very, very true to my form with migraines. Like all the stress is gone. Even as a kid, exams would be over, then the migraine hits. So that's
Yep.
definitely why I thought it was a migraine, but it was not. It was they call it, so it's called a TIA, which is a mini stroke. Which even just hearing that word, I'm like, okay, they're wrong. Obviously, they're wrong.
That's
but
right.
but they weren't wrong, and they explained to me why it was classified that, and that just very thankfully, thank God, it was a TIA, a mini stroke, which just meant it didn't leave any damage. It was,
Yeah.
which it of all the things for it to hit was my speech talking. I love to talk, and for that, and I'm a you know me, I'm a very fast thinker, fast
Yeah.
talker. So for me to actually have to slow down and think about the sentence that was about to come out, and even when it did come out, it came out wrong. That was crazy.
Scary. It's
Very,
scary.
very scary. Very scary.
So looking back, like even over the week leading up to it, I mean, because you said something that just like again just shakes because I know I've been there and I know so many people are there where it's like you don't even realize how much you've pushed down. You don't even
Yeah.
realize how much you're carrying. You don't even realize that like you are smack dab in the middle of burnout. You
Yes.
don't even realize it.
Didn't
Like,
even realize it. Because yes, because to me, I was in full on survival mode. Like, okay,
mhm,
just get through this, just get through this. And then once you get through it, then then what happens? And so it's still like I still don't know if I know how to handle it better. What
yeah.
I'm doing is I'm watching my stress level. I'm watching literally watching my blood pressure. And I got one of those aura rings. So I'm like trying to watch everything to be able to go, okay, I need to slow down. I need to calm down. What I have also noticed for me, it's not about just disconnecting. And actually it's quite the opposite. It's really looking at, okay, what is causing this? Why
Mhm,
am I reacting so hard and so strong to this?
yeah.
And breaking that down is really, for me, what helps with the stress, which kind of sounds counterintuitive. Like you don't want to be
No.
like pulling at, digging at what is causing all this stress and analyzing it. You want to just shut it down.
But that's I mean, so that's exactly what, I mean, that's exactly what I walk people through in the reclaim. So,
Yes.
haven't talked about it quite yet, but, or actually, I guess by the time this episode airs, yeah, I will have, at least put it out there. But basically, it's this 30-minute guided experience where I take folks through the 3R framework. So this is the same framework that I've been teaching inside keynotes, like paid keynotes, and it's really like actually how to reconnect. So to your point, it's not
Right.
about like, hey, take crap off of your to-do list because hello, most of
Right.
us don't have that luxury. So
Right.
like what are you going to do instead? And it's about like actually reconnecting with why we
Mhm.
keep showing up for all these things,
Yeah.
reconnecting with our actual true values and North Stars, and then saying, okay, I want to redefine a couple things here. Maybe, yes, I have good boundaries, but maybe I need to redefine what I actually think success really looks like, or
Right.
redefine like how I want to show up in a day. And does it align with a connected version of myself? And then how to actually realign, like through practical action steps, how to
Right.
realign your life so that, again, it's not this long to-do list and it's not necessarily taking 1,000 things off the to-do list.
Right.
It's just, it's it's repositioning ourselves back into the center of it all
Yes.
versus like
Yes.
work being the center and the overcommitments and the
Yes.
overscheduling and the over consuming over everything. All the overness has become the center.
Right.
And
fear.
and
Be
this,
sure to stick fear right in the middle of that.
and and your fear's right in the middle of all of it. And so the reclaim, it's in 30 minutes. I'm literally taking people from like and it's just it seems like it's the smallest pivot, but it is having the biggest
Yes.
ripple effect. And so I know exactly what you mean, but yeah, it's all of the over. Now, do you think looking back at the week before, like, would you say, like, did you like what potential signs could maybe someone be looking for? Like, if you don't, if it really truly feels like the toddler that's so freaking tired they don't even know they're tired.
Or hungry.
Or hungry. It's the person who's so hungry that they're like, ah. But I mean, were you extra tired? Were you extra like I don't know, were you missing deadlines or anything like
No.
what the heck?
So, and I still am looking and trying to break it down. Because in that week, there was a lot of stress, but and this is probably for another time. What I didn't realize is those stressors were bringing me back to a past trauma. And I didn't realize how it was connected. It took me a really long time to connect it. And probably if I had talked to a therapist, it would have gotten there a lot faster. But it took a lot for me to connect that was why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. And once I made that connection, then everything felt so much better. But by then it was after the little tiny mini stroke.
It's after it's just a stroke. It's totally fine. It's like text worthy. It's just text worthy. It's no
how horrible. That was so horrible. Like, I will never.
Because what might also would have happened. So Anne and I don't live close together. I think that would probably be too much for one poor little
kitty. We said that.
Yeah. But we still we talk regularly, and so it probably would have been those things like, oh, hey, yeah, last month I had a stroke, and I would have been so angry. I would have been so angry.
So it was better than that.
At least they got the text. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was still trying to figure stuff out too. It's like
it's
no justifying it, but just to explain, and especially for this podcast, for anybody else who might be going through this or worried about this happening, it's like it I don't have the answers on that one. Not yet.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. You know me. I want to be able to analyze it and fix it. And okay, now we're good. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
You're just gonna eat better or exercise more. But it's not any of that. It is definitely recognizing stress and being able to, like you say, there's burnout that you don't even realize is coming.
Yeah. As you work through that, I hope that you keep me close to some of that stuff, because I'd love to continue to just if there's any way that we can bring that forth to help people before they get to a point where their butt's in a hospital bed, find everything fine. I know I'm like angry at you about it, which is not helpful. That's not a good friend.
It's okay to feel your emotions.
Like, what the? Thank you. See, you are getting better at it too. Okay. So before I ask you the 3 things that I end every With Friends episode with, I just would love for you to kind of put a nice little bow on just your story. And what I mean is we started by talking about you being this single mom, you getting this thriving career up and going. And so kind of give us the highlight forward reel of where you're at today.
Where I'm at today. I have 3 amazing children that are not scarred. That when you hear it from them, had a great childhood, they knew mom was busy. They knew mom wasn't, didn't have a partner at the time, but they had great childhoods. So that's one definitely takeaway, is that as much as you think you might be messing them up, you're not.
We're all messing them up
We're
in some
all,
way, but
yeah, exactly. Oh,
yeah.
yes. It's so true. And it's where I'm at now is that I am happily married. It took me a very long time to find this man. Yes, I was not ready for him, and that's one of the things that
Mhm.
I had to recognize, is that there was so much I needed to do to be ready to appreciate this man. And where I am in my career, I am, like I said earlier, director of people, which is very, very different than anything I've done in my career, because I don't have the sales quotas that I have to meet, and I don't have the added pressure of performance. But now I'm at a position where I'm able to help people who are right there in
Mhm.
and help them through with their careers. And it's really been amazing. It's just
Yeah.
amazing to be
Yeah.
here now.
And just like any other high performer out there, okay, so she is risen, she is risen in her relationships, like risen with relationship with self, with relationship with in her marriage, as a parent, in her profession, and still like stacking on the stress unintentionally,
Mm-hmm.
unaware. It's a very normal thing. It happens. And now bouncing back from this mini stroke, and
Right.
still learning how to continue to thrive, because you'd say you're thriving, right? Would you say you're
Yes.
thriving?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So learning how to continue to thrive with a little bit better stress management, maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And realizing that you're not invincible. And even
Boo! I refuse to accept it.
I know, right? I'm
Uh,
invincible. And
I
you are
am
invincible, but
invincible.
other
We
people,
are. We are. We are.
we are.
Oh, so good. Okay. So my first question for you is I spend a lot of time just in general talking about quitting the things that are no longer serving us. So when I say that phrase, quitting
Yes.
the things that are
Yes.
no longer serving you, what comes to mind for you?
Wow. And I hear you say this all the time, so I
I
should have been
know.
prepared. So quitting what's not serving me. That's a hard one, because there's this feeling of I have to hold on to it, which I don't know why. Uh, we'll have to talk more about
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
So quitting what's not serving me would being the holding on to or stuffing of emotions. I would say I need to quit
Mm.
doing that. And I think I'm doing better, but I still have worlds to go. We're very, very far to go. Just
Yeah.
this weekend, I was very quiet. Don't know why. And my husband's like, "Why are you so quiet?" I don't know. There's got to be something there. So I need to.
Hmm.
Yes, I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would love to do a podcast episode with us on that, because I think I'm sitting here and I know it's come up a couple different times in the episode, like how it's like, man, vulnerability is first off, vulnerability is different than authenticity.
It
And I
is.
think
It
like one of the ways, like,
is.
people absolutely describe you as authentic. People absolutely describe me as like, Britt, you are one of the most authentic people I've ever met. Authenticity and vulnerability are not the
Not
same things. I think that authenticity can thrive in vulnerability, but
right.
vulnerability is a whole different
Oh yeah.
choice, like to feel emotions for yourself,
Oh yes.
to trust others with your emotions, to
That's crazy.
yeah, hold space for other people's emotions.
Yes.
So, and I even too,
Yes.
and I know we're kind of wrapping up the podcast, so I won't get into it, but really, truly, I had like a vulnerability smack over the face last November. And so that was one situation. And then I had another one July through September this year,
Mhm.
where same thing. I was like, oh man, I think I'm actually like feeling emotions that I look like I'm like itching because it
I
makes
know,
my
right?
eyes out.
Why is it so hard?
Right. It's so, and I think it's so hard too. Like, for instance, even my husband, and one of the things he's always complimented me on is like what the things that you can hold and how you compartmentalize everything is just, it's amazing. And so,
Yeah.
like on one hand,
Yes,
you're
yes,
complimented and like, and what is you're
necessary.
praised for
Yes.
the way that you compartmentalize and almost like don't feel emotions. And then also there's this like, I should
Yes,
probably I think I'm missing out on
yes,
something here.
yes, definitely, definitely. Yeah, we need to look at that one.
We'll look at that one. Okay, we'll look at that one. Okay, then the second thing. So I always ask each podcast guest to leave a question for the next guest. So I have a question from the last guest for you.
Okay.
So our last guest, so
Okay.
it was Stephanie Patty. She's an incredible founder woman. She has GLS Consulting for sales and leadership, but then she also is the founder of Women Worship and Work, which is her suited community. They're a phenomenal group. Steph left you this question.
Okay.
3 years from now, it's the end of 2028. Right?
Mhm.
What has happened for you to be proud of your progress?
Oh, wow. What a
I
great
kn
question.
I know. You see me, I'm like, I'm leaving somebody a question that's like, cats or dogs?
I
Like,
know, right? Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
but no, Steph, and
Okay,
it,
okay.
yeah, and all. So while you're thinking about, so what has to happen for you to be proud of your progress? And I know, in her suited community, they were talking about, just confidence, like walking out who God says that you are. And so, what does that look like 3 years from now for you to be proud of your
Oh,
progress?
proud of your progress. Yes. And so when you first started asking the question, and I didn't know the curveball at the end, I was like, oh, it'll be my husband's retired and this and that. But no, it's like about progress of like myself. What I would
Yeah.
say in 3 years I'll be most proud of is that I'm not struggling with the
Mm.
vulnerability. That it's something that I have really started to own as of who I am and part of
Mm.
myself. And maybe even to the point where I can help others with that who have been
Yes.
great at compartmentalizing. But
Oh,
when we
yes.
compartmentalize, can't stuff it. We have to actually let it come back up, because otherwise that's exactly what I feel happened is I compartmentalized this huge stressor and not given it the attention it needed. And it just was like, all right, here you go. You're going to get a big smack in the head.
Yep. Right when like you almost need it the least. You're like,
Yes.
this will work, right? It always happens. You're like, this could literally not be like any worse timing. And Lord Almighty is like, oh no, it's the
It is the
perfect
perfect
timing.
time. It really was. It really
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
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 So Steph also said, so okay, so it's for you, it's the vulnerability, and actually like feeling good about all of
Feeling
those.
feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, feeling good about
Feeling the
feeling.
feelings and
Uh-huh.
being proud of feeling and not being scared of my feelings. That's the biggest one.
Not being
That's
scared
what I will be
feelings.
most proud of is I'm
Yeah.
not scared of those negative
Yeah.
feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So good. Steph also challenged me to answer that question on my next episode because I didn't answer. I didn't have a good answer when she asked it. So my answer for that is, you know, I what would it be? Just proud of my progress. I think for me, my biggest thing is consistency. So,
Mm.
in corporate, I think because so much was always predetermined. Like, this is your schedule. This is what you're working
Yes.
on. These are the projects. Like, so much was predetermined, and so easy to, it was for me, it was so easy for me to show up and just execute constantly.
Yep.
And so in entrepreneurship, while I have loved that it's this blank canvas, it has also required a different operating rhythm. And I haven't quite yet figured out what that is in the way that actually aligns and gives me the results that I know I'm destined for. So what would happen? What would have to happen for me 3 years from now for me to be proud of my progress? It would be that I've created consistent operating rhythms in my business that yield the results that I know I'm destined for. Maybe that's what I would say is my answer.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense.
I got to get there. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. Okay. And then last but not least, now, my friend, it is your turn to leave a question for the next guest. Whatever question.
So because so much of what we talked about has been centered around being a mom, being a single mom, but just being a parent in general, my question for your next guest and for you is, what will it look like when your kids are adults for you to feel you did a good job?
Okay, what will it look like when your kids are adults?
That you can go, wow, I did good. I didn't mess them up.
You'll feel good. Okay, so you have to answer the question then too.
Oh, I do? No, that's not
right. Sure do.
So actually that one, I have thought of this, and I've actually asked myself this question. And so what it looks like or will look like, I'm almost there with all of them, is that they're happy, that they're at peace, and that they found love, not only in a partner, but also that they have grown closer to God and that they feel his presence. That will make me feel like I did good.
Yeah. I have sat with this question previously as well. And I know the things that come to mind for me is that, like, I want Jesus, I want Holy Spirit to be their best friend.
Yes.
Like, I will know I did good if they know the love and like the forgiveness and the grace and the compassion of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So that is big. I will do good. Like, I will feel like I did good if they know like how to also give those things and be like Jesus, like to like that, in our household that we've modeled what a loving relationship looks like, what a respecting, like what a respectful relationship looks like what a compassionate, what a kind, what a gentle, what a relationship of like what gratitude looks like, what grace looks like, what humility looks like. So if they have an idea, if they have even the slightest idea, because that's what they have seen, that's what they have been told, and that's what they like, it's been modeled for them inside our home and outside our home, I'm good with that. I did my job.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So good. So good. And thank you so very much. This has been a long time coming. I am so honored. Thank you for just sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your story of back then. Thank you for sharing your story of today, of now. I absolutely love you. And I
love you.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything honored?
Oh, stop it. Is there anything else that you want to just kind of wrap things up with?
I think just big hugs to all the parents out there that are trying to make it and trying to thrive. And big hugs. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Continue listening to you.
I mean, hey, I do what I can. I do what I
Yes,
can.
yes.
Yeah.
You've given me so much that it's humbling and such an honor when you say that stuff about me. Like, wow.
It takes one to know one, right? It
Thank
takes one to
you.
know one.
Wow. Thank you.
I love you.
I
I
appreciate
love you. All right,
it.
guys.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
tuning in. Leave a review if this moved you. If you'd like to get in touch with Anne, she is active on LinkedIn. Also, too, I know Anne's heart is always open for additional conversation. So if you find yourself, if you happen to be a single mama and you're finding yourself navigating things, I know that it's may not necessarily be what Anne does professionally, but I know Anne's heart, and
Absolutely.
she would answer that email, and she would do anything she could to point you in. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thanks. Until next time. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. It means the world to me that you're here to ride in the struggle bus with me and that you're willing to consider different perspectives, tools, and techniques that just might provide a little bit of relief and get you one step closer to the abundance that is available and waiting for us all. I hope you take a moment to grant yourself some grace where you've been denying it, some love where you didn't realize maybe it was right in front of you, and some faith where you thought all was lost. If this episode had an impact on you, would you please share a comment with a review? I'd love to hear what landed for you, and it helps us get the word out to our fellow struggle bus riders. So please review what was impactful for you. Just know these episodes are a pure labor of love in a space where I'm growing alongside you. I'm evolving every day, and I look forward to all the ways and the things and the perspectives and opinions and choices that will change over the course of time in my own life, day to day. Until next time, just know that you are loved, you are divinely cared for, and in the struggle, the journey of this life really is beautiful. I'm glad that we're in it together. Cheers.